Welcome to day 5 of the Master Your Midlife group coaching challenge. So today our topic is regrets and wasted time. Regrets can leave us feeling trapped and stuck in the past, or they can actually be an opportunity to move into the future. So let's dive in. When we think about regrets, we can maybe take some time to reframe the past. Obviously, regrets are things that have happened that we're not feeling so great about, and maybe given another chance, we would do differently. But what I'd like you to consider is that every regret, everything you've done where there's regret around that situation or that action, it holds a lesson within it. And this can be something that takes time for us to appreciate, that every experience in life is just that. It's something for us to experience and grow and learn from. Part of the thing about living a fulfilled and fully balanced life is this notion of integration. So how do we integrate the experiences of our lives so that they do become lessons, they do become our teachers, they do help us to be informed about how we move into the future? This is really, really important, because what can happen if we're not integrating and learning the lessons of our lives is we just keep repeating them. And sadly, this will happen a lot. In earlier life, the situation I often refer to in this context is dating. We may actually end up dating the same person. They have a different face, but it's the same person. That is, we end up dating someone who has these classic characteristics, and it never works out, but yet we fall into that one after another relationship until we have that deeper understanding and learning and integration that, oh, person with X type of personality is not going to be a good fit, even though there may be a draw to them initially, that the proof in the pudding is such that, no, that's not a good fit for me. And then we evolve. Similar with other learnings and integrations in our lives, right? Having the same arguments and discussions all the time. What is it about those discussions where we're not learning, integrating, and moving forward in our lives? Having the same issues coming up at work continually. How is it that I'm not adjusting, adapting, and learning from those experiences? Why do they keep coming up? That's simply a lack of the integrating kind of forces within us, right? This idea of taking information, experiences, and turning it into wisdom and knowledge. So when we start to do that more, we're better prepared for what life's going to throw at us in the future. And no doubt, life is going to throw things at us. That's just the way it works. And so rather than dwelling on things in the past from a place of regret, how can we reframe the past and use it as the strong sort of foundational experiential activities that give us intelligence moving forward? And so if we turn our backs on things, or if we hold a perspective on things where, for example, it is simply a regret, then we're missing an opportunity to learn and grow from that event, frankly. When we take this broader perspective, it can be that the past and our experiences of the past, the things that we hold regrets around, are actually stepping stones that can prepare us for what's next. How did we respond to those situations? What was it in them that we may have done differently if we were to do it now? These sorts of things. So using the past to learn and grow from, and to prepare us for the next stages in our lives and the next challenges we'll be forced to face. We can think of it from the place that we're not falling behind, but we're actually being prepared for the future. What I'd like you to do now is we're going to take some time to reframe a regret. So think of something that you regret currently. In my life, for example, I've made a few really unsophisticated decisions around money and finances and investments. And when I look back on those, I can do so from a place of regret, shame, and feeling bad about, what I did, the choices that I made. Or I can dissect those, do a little bit of a post-mortem and figure out, well, what was going on at the time and what drove me to make that decision? Why was I in a frame of mind where I made that choice, and how would that look now? Or how could I approach that same thing now and approach it differently? So really looking at the fulsome view of what happened, all the circumstances around the situation, can be really, really helpful. If you can pick an event that you hold some regret around, an activity, an instant in your life, and just dissect it. Look at it from all angles, as broadly and as widely as you can. And then the next part is really the learning part. So what did it teach you? What was it about that particular event that you can learn from now? So for example, with one of my financial choices that I made, which was around hiring essentially a Mr. Fix-It guy when I really needed a contractor. And it ended up costing me plentiful and resulting in a huge loss of money. What would I do differently now? Spend a little bit more time figuring out, is this guy reputable? Yes, he had done some work for me in the past, but was it on the scale that I needed? And being more sophisticated about looking at his proposal, and at the very least, getting others to compare it to, like spending that time. I was going to be investing tens of thousands of dollars, which ended up being $120,000, basically, which I lost all of. How would I fare now if I was to do that? What did that expensive lesson teach me? So this sort of thing. Now, yours may be something that has financial consequences, as mine did, or it may be something else. It might have something to do with career. It might have something to do with relationships, what have you. Let's spend that time now having a look at a specific instant where you're holding some regret. Do the analysis of it, and then do the framing around what did it teach you. So you can pause the tape now and do that. Once you've got that drafted, then you can go ahead and maybe share some highlights of it in the forum so that others can see your experience. Remember, we learn by sharing and caring, by being supportive of each other and being vulnerable too. That's really, really a strong point here. Part of what we're doing here is making peace with the past, and knowing that when we make peace with the past, that really provides a lot of fuel. It becomes like the fertilizer for your future. We don't want to live in regrets and a sense of being stuck because of those regrets. We want to, as much as possible, take all of those experiences and use them in a way to become the best version of ourselves in the future. All right, so let's do that, and I will see you tomorrow for day 6. Take care.